Hey, it's Andy from DIYBand. Let's take your drums from sounding like this to this. Okay, here we go. So this song is it's a midweek maybe song, and I have moved it from, like I said, I've moved it from a laptop to this PC, and a lot of the stuff didn't actually come with it, so I've had to go and find the vocals, and a load of other VSTs were a bit broken, so there's a lot of stuff that I need to do with it. And also, I've probably not worked on it for, well, since April last year. Look, that's probably the last thing I did was the vocals. So have a listen to as it stands now, and then we can figure out what we need to do.
To the rhythm silence.
Okay, the vocals definitely need redoing.
Sound like we're leaving soon. Never stop to think, what's the meaning of violence? Scarred and retarded in a hotel room. Cause I'm a simple man, that I have a problem. These new ideas, let's try to solve them. I've been feeling like a worn out drunk. No boy stealing, I'm a deadbeat broke. Super fantastic, but forget it busting tonight.
Okay, so there's a lot of work that needs doing to it, and do you know what I'm going to do? I am going to just ignore the vocals right now. Let's take that out of that group. The vocals are all going to mute down. We're just looking at the music, I think. So the first thing I noticed really was that there was a load of snare hits that were missed. So what I'm saying about that is, at the moment, our snare is being replaced by this container. So without it on, we listen to it solo. Alright, but then what we're doing is we're taking our signal and layering over a snare sample. Which needs fixing in itself anyway, however, it is missing some hits. That one there, for instance. So we're going to grab one that it is picking up, like this one. We're going to copy it. Go directly over where that snare hits. And paste a new one in, and now that should. There we go. So we'll go through and fix all of these. So now that's done, I think we'll be in a good position to start making sure that snare actually sounds like we want it to. I want the compressor, grab that signal as soon as possible and dip it down. But then release that sound quite slowly, I think. So let's not go as soon as possible. We'll do it like about that. So what it's doing, the signal is going to be dipped straight away, but then it's going to ease back in, but by getting louder, which means that it's going to sound like it's fuller and longer. So we'll just check our thresholds and everything. I'm going to go for like a 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 is good. Let's have a look at some different sounds that we can have with this snare. So we can add like multiple snare samples on top of this. So for instance, like one of these. Just grab the first one. Well, it's horrible. So let's mute. We're going to find a decent one that we like. Right, so now that I think, well, we've got these both where we want them, we're going to mix them into each other. So both these sounds, I think, will complement each other quite well. We just need to get the volumes right, really. I think that's
greatest jewel, flawless.
Oh! Yeah, so we are going to mix these two sounds into each other. I think we just need to sort out the pitches and the volumes and make sure that they sound almost like one snare. Plus we also have the snare bleeding through from the overheads. So we will still have that if I solo this out. So we've still got the original snare sound as well. Let's solo this out. Let's start by lowering the volume of this snare. So we've still got this one here. Now I actually think that the other snare might be better, so I'm just going to check it. I'm just going to compare. So we're just going to now make sure that our compressor is working as we've already set it to, and also getting rid of this clipping that it's doing. So we're just lowering the volume down. You see this output here just keeps clipping, so we're going to drop it down with the same compression. There we go. That looks alright. Yeah, that sounds dope. I like it. Let's have a listen to these overheads and see what we don't like about them. We're going to get rid of a lot of the bottom end. This compressor is currently doing nothing. So I should probably explain here what the ratio does. The ratio lowers the signal, by this example, by 1.3 decibels per decibel over the threshold. So what I'm adjusting now is the threshold, and any signal that is above that, it will be reduced down by 1.3. So 1 decibel will reduce 1.3 decibels, 2 decibels will be reduced by 2.6. Okay, so the overheads I think might be alright as they are right now. So we've separated out of this snare, and what we need to do is make sure that this snare fits nicely with the one that we've created, basically. So as you can see, it is definitely two different sounds going on. We need to make sure it's a bit impactful and just sounds like the same snare to the best that we can. It shouldn't be too hard because they're not amazingly different. Especially that we've got the overheads behind it throughout the whole thing. So with EQ wise, what are we hearing? So first of all, we want to get rid of all of the lows, all of the very highs. That's not what I want to do. Do that. I want to give it a bit more oomph in the bottom end. Maybe take out a little bit of this. It's probably too much. Well, that doesn't sound too bad. Let's compare that to the original snare. That is not bad at all. I think we might just need to make it a bit louder. And we don't really want the same release that we want for the individual hits. Not as much, at least. I'd probably like to go maybe around halfway to just over. The MIDI toms here are to help what I've removed from everything, because we didn't mic them up. So they do sound a bit flat right now. So if we listen to them on their own, they're just literally MIDI toms. Very boring. They do have different volumes and that to help. And they are not perfectly in time, you know, they're just off of the line. Just to help with that human feel of what it sounds like. What we're going to need to do is add some, like just some EQ, because they're all toms, right? So we're going to need to boost that low region, really. So we're going to cut off like really low bits that you're never going to hear and really high bits that you're never going to hear. But then we're going to boost this region, I think, just to give it that oof feel. And then I think we're also going to want to boost around here somewhere. What we're going to do, we're going to loop it. So we're just going to fine tune this EQ. We need a sweep here, so we're going to sweep for some bad frequencies, and then we know where to dip to get those signals out. We get rid of like between 3 and 1,000 for that muddiness. We don't want to take out too much of it, but it's all that. Hear all that noise? We don't need none of that. We don't need none of that. Get rid. That already sounds like a much better tom. Okay, so that's the MIDI toms done. For now, we're getting there. So we're going to have to go through all of this again once we mix in other bits. But we're getting to a nice standard of where everything will hopefully work with each other, you know? So we've gone through the overheads. We've gone through the snare fills. Gone through the replace snare. We've done the toms. We still haven't done the kick yet. Before we do that, on this group track I am running guitar rig, which currently has nothing running in it. And what I like to run in this is this drum thing that I set up, deep and wide drums. Basically it's a load of guitar plugins that make the drums just snap really nicely. It gives you a bit of delay in there. It's real nice. So that should be good to go. What I'll do is I'll play it and I'll let it play, and then we will I'll enable it. Here we go. So turn it off again. So I need to tweak it a little bit, but the basis is there. So I think before it's on, It sounds like I've just put a load of samples together to make a drum kit, which is exactly what I have done, and we don't want that to sound like that. We want it to sound like the real drum kit that we recorded. So what I can hear is that the snare is way too loud. We want to make sure that everything's still pushing these limits, otherwise it's not going to work. So we've got the noise gate coming in, which is fine. We've got this compressor just tickling it a little bit. We might need to get it... And we definitely want this limiter. Just the tiniest bit. So it grabs that snare and just flattens it a little bit. So we still need to do some work with that snare, I think. One thing I think we need to do is, I think we need to pitch shift it. I think it might need to come down a little bit. We're going to try this pitch shift, and I'm not convinced it's going to work, but we're just going to go down just a little bit, just a little tiny inch a bit. There it is. It just needs to go 100 cents. Okay. I'm quite happy with the way that's sitting right now. Now we need to just mix in the kick. Get rid of all of these solos. So what have we got for the kick so far? We've done the same thing that we did with the snare. We have taken the original signal. So if I just mute these, this is the original signal before it's been replaced. Where are you, you scallywag? There you are. This is the kick that we've got at the moment. We've got these three sounds. Is that correct? I don't think that is correct. This one is actually not doing anything, I think. We can just turn that one off, but it's these Okay, it's just this one right now. But that's fine. We will get another one as well. Tap this one in. Then we just need to EQ it. And compress, obviously. We'll grab the really low end. We don't want to get rid of too much though. Yeah, we'll boost that. That sounds nice. But there is a sound that I'm not liking, so we'll find it. Come on. We're going to get that, and then we're going to EQ. That sounds good enough for now, so we will EQ now, compress it now. And what we're going to do, I think, we'll do the same, to keep it punchy, you know? So dip it straight down. That should be decent enough settings. I'm just going to put the dodgy vocals back in. So we can get a feel for where we were when we started compared to now, literally all we've worked on is the drums.
Pick me up to the rhythm of silence. Going down, make it sound like we're leaving soon. Never stop to think, what's the meaning of violence? Scarred and retarded in a hotel room. 'Cause I'm a simple man, but I have a problem. These new ideas, let's try to solve them. I've been feeling like a worn out drunk. There's no point stealing, I'm a deadbeat broke.
So there we go. That's where we've left the drums for now. Thank you very much for staying and watch. The next episode we'll be working on another part of this song, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. If it's helped you at all, drop the like, subscribe. You do you, man. It's easy. Andy from DIYBand. Peace.